but fear the dark, then Delphi. After dawn is your sanctuary. As the first light of dawn breaks through the night, we embark on a journey into the mysteries that chill the spine. I'm your host, Jason King, and together, we'll explore the stories that lurk in the shadows. Each episode, we unravel chilling tales of unsolved crimes, police corruption, and heart-wrenching disappearances. Imagine a world where over 600,000 people vanished last year alone in the U.S., leaving behind only questions and heartache. Violent crime is on the rise, and the shadows grow longer each day. By joining us, you become a beacon for the voiceless, a light in the darkness. Together, we'll shine a light on society's darkest corners, uncovering the truths that hide in plain sight. From the eerie silence of abandoned buildings to the bustling streets where secrets are whispered, we leave no stone unturned. Tune in to Delphi After Dawn, where understanding is just a story away. Join us and let the journey begin. As we delve deeper, remember that every story has a heartbeat, a pulse that connects us all. We navigate through the labyrinth of human experience, seeking answers and shedding light on the unknown. So prepare yourself for a journey like no other, where every revelation brings us closer to the truth. Delphi. After Dawn is more than just a podcast. It's a community of seekers, united by curiosity and compassion. Together, we can make a difference, one story at a time. Join us and let the journey begin anew. In the shadows of the city, where secrets are commodities and trust is a luxury, one man delves into the minds of the monstrous. Welcome to the world of Jason King, a detective with a mind as sharp as a scalpel and a heart as resilient as steel. Beneath the ordinary scenes of daily life, grim tales of notorious serial killers lurk. Each one, unique in their madness, leaves behind a chilling legacy of victims and unsolvable puzzles. But the twisted minds of these murderers never elude Jason King. With every episode, the stakes rise. Every grim detail, each hideous crime, King peels back layer by layer. In a world where evil is the norm and horror is the narrative, Jason King remains steadfast. His mission? To uncover the dark consciousness of terror. His promise? Justice. This is Jason King's world, where crime is not just confronted, but comprehended. Dive deep into the chilling tales of serial killers with Jason King.
What's going on, everyone? Where's everybody watching from? Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, TikTok, Twitter, or even if you're on Mars with Elon Musk and the other snooties. Haven't done that in a while. So what's everybody up to today? So the point of today's live show is I've been noticing that there's been like a handful of groups of other people out there putting out false information regarding this case, Sonya Massey case. Now, when I was on this other platform, I was noticing that these people that's out there, and you got to keep in mind, some of these people that are out there pushing false narratives, they're getting paid to be on there pushing false narratives too. So you got to ask yourself, especially the ones that spend like 24 hours a day talking about the same cases nonstop. You got to ask yourself the question, why are these people spending so much of their time on the internet going in such small details about some of these cases. It's because they're pushing a false narrative. That's why they're doing it. So yeah, I was on another platform, and I started noticing that these handful of people's lying about the Sonya Massey case. They were watching the body cam footage, and they were literally telling people on the internet that that Sonya Massey, the woman in the background here, that she threw the pot of boiling water at the cop, and that's why he shot her. That is not what happened, people. That is not what happened. And another lie that these people are telling, is that, see the black chair in the background there? See that little black chair? I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but there's a black chair right there sitting on the other side of the kitchen bar. And they were telling people that when they slowed down the footage and zoomed in, you could see water all over that chair from where she threw the pot. And they were telling people that that chair was approximately like 6.5 feet away. And that's why the officers shot Sonya Massey. That's a lie, people. You can clearly see in the footage right here behind me, Sonya Massey's standing right there, right above the word 4. If you look right above the word 4, you'll see Sonya Massey right there. Okay. And there's actually 2 chairs that's in the kitchen. There's a chair here, and then she's actually standing behind another black chair. So there's not just one chair, there's 2 chairs. And the chair that she's standing next to behind of whatever, she's not 6.5 feet away from the chair. She's like within maybe a foot, if that, away from the chair. She's within close proximity of both of these chairs. Okay, for one. And for two, you also got to look at the fact, if you want to try to justify this cop committing murder and shooting this woman in cold blood, if you really want to try to justify it like y'all are trying to do, you need to ask yourself the question, why didn't he pull his taser? I mean, there's a reason why law enforcement officers carry tasers. Law enforcement officers are required to carry tasers. That way they can use lethal non-force, that way they can use a non-lethal force option. You know what I'm saying? That way, that's the whole reason why law enforcement officers carry tasers. That way, when they get like a phone call and they got to come out to like a domestic dispute, or like say it's a mental patient, somebody with schizophrenia or something like that, or somebody off their medication, and they're not listening to police commands, instead of just drawing your Glock 9 and ending somebody's life, that's the whole reason why the department has police officers carry tasers. That way, when somebody is not compliant and listening to lawful orders or resisting arrest or whatever the case may be, the officer can pull his taser and use that as a method to detain the person. Kind of like in the video that I posted a while back, where the cops came to my house because that homeless guy was secretly living in my basement. And remember the video I posted of the guy, he was fist fighting the cop out in my yard? Okay, did you see that cop pull his 9mm and just gun the guy down and end his life in my yard out here? Did y'all see that? No. This dude was actually fist fighting the cop. And what did the cop do? In the video that I posted on my channel, you see the cop, does he grab his gun and end the guy's life? No, he doesn't, because he was actually a responsible cop that knows what he's doing. What did he do in the video? You see him grab his taser and he shoots the guy with the taser, and the guy's like, and he falls flat on his face. That's the proper way to handle things, because when you use your taser, you're getting things under control and you're not killing somebody. Okay, and for one, if he was so worried about this pot of boiling water, like, in my opinion, I think he literally set her up for failure. Like, he tells her, "Oh, we don't need to have a house fire here. You need to go get that pot of boiling water off your stove." And then she goes over and grabs it, and all of a sudden he's scared. A 6'5" grown ass man. Okay, he's like what, 6'5", 6'6", something like that. A grown ass man. He tells her to go move the pot of boiling water, and then when she does it, and she says to him, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Suddenly that angers him enough and scares him enough to where he feels the need to pull his weapon, his gun. Come on now. If he's that damn scared, he's in the wrong profession. He should have known better. And he already had a shit ton of blemishes on his record anyways. What, he had like two or three DUIs on his record. He had all kinds of shit on his record. He shouldn't even been a cop to begin with. I mean, it's crazy. And for another thing, he shouldn't even been in the woman's house to begin with. There's been several times I've had to dial 911 and have the cops come out because we have a prowler or somebody creeping around the property or whatever. Every single time the cops have ever came to my house over a prowler call or whatever the case may be, they have never came in my house and told me that I need to move the pot of boiling water off my oven or whatever the case may be. They meet you outside in the driveway or the yard. They take a look around. They don't see nothing. They say, if you see anything else, call us and let us know, and we'll come back out. And then they usually say something like, we'll make patrols and spotlight the area throughout the night or whatever. He had no reason to even be in her house to begin with. And I'm sick and tired of seeing all you idiots out there try to take up for this man and act like he's such a saint and try to justify him committing murder, taking an innocent life. He should have pulled his taser if he felt like his life was threatened or he felt like she was going to throw hot water on him. But if you think about it, look at the distance that's between the two of them. I mean, look how far apart they are. Does he really think that this woman, this little petite woman, is going to have the strength to even throw the pot of water all the way over to the living room where he's at anyways? And he's like 6'5", 6'6". His head is what, an inch from the damn ceiling? So she would have had to have had the super strength to be able to not only throw it from where she's at, but make it all the way over there to the other room on the other side of the apartment or house, and make it all the way up to where almost the ceiling is, because that's where his face is at. His face and his head is like within what, an inch from the damn ceiling? I highly doubt that woman even had the strength to even make it that far, even if she tried to throw it. And if he was so damn scared of a pot of boiling water to begin with, why did he even tell her to go over there and move it to begin with? Why was he even in the woman's house? None of this adds up. And you got dumbass people out there on the internet telling lies, saying that he was that the pot made it 6.5 feet away and landed on the chair. She's standing right behind two chairs in her kitchen right there. You can see she's within like what, maybe a foot from both chairs, closer than that. And you could clearly see in the body cam footage, we're going to watch it here in a second. You clearly see in the body cam footage when she says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." He like freaks out because he probably does have demons, pulls his gun, and he's like, "I'll shoot you in the face, put the water down," or whatever. And then what does she do? She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. And you see her bend down, and she sits the pot of boiling water on the floor. And as she's sitting it on the floor, what does he do? He's all the way over here. But he makes a point. What does he do? He makes a point to run all the way over here and run across around to the other side of where that kitchen island is, that kitchen counter. And then what does he do? Pow, pow, pow. After she had already said she was sorry and was sitting the water down. And then you got idiots out there on the internet trying to say, but the water went on the chair and then this and that, and they're playing the body cam footage in like extra slow motion with no sound and showing people still frame pictures that zoom so far in, all you're seeing is like blurry images. And trying to push a false narrative. I mean, think about it, people. If you got a pot of boiling water in your hands and a cop pulls his gun on you and tells you to put it down, and you go down and you're going to put the pot of boiling water down, and say he starts shooting you, right? If somebody was to shoot you while you're holding a pot of boiling water, don't you think you would drop the pot and the water would go everywhere? Or don't you think that while you're getting gunned down, you would have the instant reflexes of just going like this and just slinging the pot? Not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying metaphorically, you know, let's think here. Let's use our brain here. I mean, think about it. What if somebody walks into your kitchen while you're boiling water and you take the pot of boiling water off your stove? And what if this person just draws his gun and just starts shooting you in your kitchen? You think you're going to be able to gently sit the pot of boiling water down on the kitchen floor without spilling one little drop? Because if that's what you believe, you're a fucking fool. You're dumber than I thought you are. I mean, these people are driving me crazy, putting out these false narratives, posting pictures of this guy's mugshot photo and calling him innocent. We're going to watch the video body cam footage here in just a second. And I'm going to show you firsthand that this woman did not deserve to die. And then the idiot, the guy that was calling me an idiot, trying to argue the fact and take up for a cold-blooded killer, he was trying to call me an idiot and say that I'm an idiot and that this woman deserved to get shot, and he was taking up for the cop because he said that she lied to him about taking her medication. Like that justifies you killing somebody. So let me get this right. You think her murder is justified because you're assuming that she lied to this officer about taking her medication when she didn't take it. You're basically saying that justifies murder? No, it don't. And if you think it does, you need mental help. And this dude was calling me the idiot. And then every single time I brought up the fact that I asked them the question, why do officers have to carry tasers? They never could answer that question. They all started over talking me. And then they would mute me or just kick me off. You know why? Because they're the unintelligent ones. And when you start asking legitimate questions that they're too stupid to answer, that's why they get loud. That's why they start muting you. And that's why they kick you off panel. Because they're the ignorant ones. I asked them 5-6 different occasions to tell me, why are officers required to carry tasers? And you know, nobody could tell me that. Every time I asked the question when I was on that person's panel, they got loud. They started over talking me. They muted me and called me the stupid. You know why? Because they're the stupid ones. They don't like it when they're pushing a false narrative and somebody comes on their panel and starts calling them out on their lies and their BS. And they never did answer my question on why officers are required to carry tasers. Because they know they're in the wrong. And they're pushing a false narrative, and they're just trying to take up for this evil demonic man who killed this woman, an innocent woman who didn't deserve to die. This woman may have had some mental problems, and say she may have lied about taking her medication. She may have lied to the cop and said that she took her medicine when she didn't. But does that justify him doing what he did to her? No, it doesn't. Now we're going to watch this body cam footage. And after you watch this body cam footage, I want you to tell me in the comments or in the live chat whether or not you think this cop is in the right or if he's in the wrong. Here we go. Let's play the body cam footage now.
The camera footage yesterday, which shows 2 deputies searching outside Massey's property for the suspected prowler.
So what'd you hear?
Somebody was outside my house.
And then, after finding no one, Deputy Sheriff Sean Grayson talks with a confused-seeming Massey on her front porch.
please, God. I'm trying to get help, y'all, but...
What do you need help with?
At one point, Grayson asks Massey about her mental health.
You're not in trouble.
A few minutes later, Massey and the deputies are inside, getting information to file their report.
I just need shit.
I just want to say this real quick, and then I'm going to start the video again. This woman, you're going to hear her ask for help, okay? This woman, say she did have mental problems. This woman was pleading for help. This woman may have needed help. And instead of this guy being caring and protecting and serving like they're supposed to do, instead of giving this woman help, you know what he gives her? A bullet to the face. A bullet to the damn face. Now let's watch this video again. Here we go. I'm going to play the full video this time.
The camera footage yesterday, which shows two deputies searching outside Massey's property for the suspected prowler.
So what'd you hear?
Somebody keeps outside my house, y'all.
And then, after finding no one, Deputy Sheriff Sean Grayson talks with a confused-seeming Massey on her front porch.
Please, God. I'm trying to get help, y'all, but...
What do you need help with?
At one point, Grayson asks Massey about her mental health.
You're not in trouble.
A few minutes later, Massey and the deputies are inside, getting information to file their report.
I just need shit. Just driver's license will do, and then I'll get out of your hair.
Deputy Grayson asks Massey to turn off a pot of water that's boiling on her stove.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Holding the pot, Massey then twice says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," which Deputy Grayson immediately treats as a threat.
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You
Jesus.
better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop the...
Massey is hit in the face and drops to the ground. For at least 6 minutes, the other deputy applies pressure to her wound while they wait for medics to arrive. At one point, Deputy Grayson is heard implying that her injury is so grave that he's, quote, not going to waste his medical supplies on her. Massey was later pronounced dead at the hospital. In a Facebook post, Sangamon County Sheriff's Office confirmed Deputy Grayson had been fired from the department, writing, "It is clear that the deputy did not act as trained or in accordance with our standards."
You know what I want? I want justice for my baby.
Massey's father, James Wilburn, spoke after the footage was made public.
The sheriff here is an embarrassment because this man should have never had a badge. He should have never had a gun. He should have never been given the opportunity to kill my child because he had some serious blemishes on his record. Serious. This man had 2 convictions for DUI. He had a conviction for driving under the influence. And he was a member of law enforcement? My Lord. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment to this country, to this county.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the Massey family.
She was dealing with some issues. She needed a helping hand. She didn't need a bullet to the face.
President Joe Biden also weighed in, saying, quote, "Sonya's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often Black Americans face fears for their safety in ways many of the rest of us do not." And in her own statement, Vice President Kamala Harris decried this as a senseless death and reiterated calls for Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which she co-authored. The law would, among other things, limit the use of force, ban chokeholds, and change the standards for when officers could be prosecuted. Former Deputy Sean Grayson is charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He has pled not guilty.
That was the video right there. Now, when that officer came out to look for that prowler, and he walked around and didn't find nobody and didn't see a prowler, He should have asked her for her ID, ran her ID like they normally do, checked for warrants or whatever the case is. He should have gave her her ID back and said, okay, ma'am, you have a good night. I didn't see anybody. But if you catch anybody else out here, call us back and I'll come back out. And he should have left. He never should have went in her home. But he did go in her home for some reason. And for two, why was this 6'5", 6'6" man, giant of a man, so scared of a pot of boiling water? You know, if he was that damn scared of a pot of boiling water, why even have her go in the kitchen and move it to begin with? In my opinion, I think he set her up so he could shoot and kill her. That's what it seems like to me. Because if you're that damn scared of a woman that's, 4'5" or however tall she is, 5'4", whatever. If you're that damn scared of a woman that's like 5'4", 5'5", 5'6", if you're 6'5", 6'6", and you're that damn scared of a woman that's small and petite like her, and you feel the need to draw your gun, you don't need to be a cop. You need to take your ass to church and stay in your house if you're that damn scared of the public, especially if you're that scared of somebody, a small petite woman like she was. You're in the wrong field of profession. And you could clearly see in the body cam footage that there's not one chair, but two chairs in that kitchen, and she's standing right next to both of them. She did not throw no pot of boiling water 6.5 feet across the damn room, and it landed on the chair that's 6.5 feet across the room. You can clearly see in the body cam footage that there's two chairs in the kitchen, and she's standing right next to both of them. And look how far away he is. He's in the next room. He's in the living room, almost close to where the damn door is. So think of the distance that she would have had to have thrown that pot of boiling water before it even would have reached him. And how high she would have had to have thrown it. He never should have entered her home. And even if he did enter the home, he never should have pulled his weapon. Even if she, even if she was acting like she was going to throw the pot of water at him or whatever, he should have grabbed his taser. She'd have had a lot more better chance of surviving being tased than being shot in the damn face. But I got to hear, when I go up on these other idiots panels, I got to hear, do you know what tasers do to water? Do you know what? That's what this retard said to me. He said, do you know what happens when you mix a taser with a pot of boiling water? Either way, you're getting electrocuted and you're going to, you're more likely to survive. Do you know what happens if I shoot you in the face with a Glock 9? Let me ask you that question. Do you know what happens when you get shot in the face with a Glock 9? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with these people? She much would have had a better chance at survival if he would have tased her with this taser gun versus pulling his gun out and shooting her in the face at that. I'm gonna keep talking about this case every once in a while. I'm gonna keep putting the truth out there, and I hope that her family and her dad gets justice. And I hope this man goes to prison for a very long time because he deserves it. He deserves to rot behind bars for what he did. You're not supposed to take a life. And if you're working in the police department, that's why they said he didn't follow protocol or his training, because they know he should have drew his taser before he drew his weapon. No matter how many times you slow the footage down, no matter how many times you point out there's a chair in the kitchen, no matter how many times you zoom so far in, all you see is blurry pixels, and you try to say, oh, well, the pot's there and the water went there, or she did this or she did that. No matter how many million different ways you look at the situation, Murder is wrong. He had no reason to pull his gun and shoot that woman in the face. And if you feel that he did have a right to do it, you need mental help and you need Jesus. We're going to watch this video surveillance body cam footage. We're going to watch this body cam footage one more time before I end the live. Here.
Camera footage yesterday, which shows two deputies searching outside Massey's property for the suspected prowler.
So what'd you hear?
Somebody outside my house.
And then, after finding no one, Deputy Sheriff Sean Grayson talks with a confused-seeming Massey on her front porch.
Please God, I'm trying to get help, y'all, but...
What do you need help with?
At one point, Grayson asks Massey about her mental health.
You're not in trouble.
A few minutes later, Massey and the deputies are inside, getting information to file their report.
I just driver's license will do, and then I'll get out of your hair.
Deputy Grayson asks Massey to turn off a pot of water that's boiling on her stove.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Holding the pot, Massey then twice says, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," which Deputy Grayson immediately treats as a threat.
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
I rebuke you in the name of
You better not. I swear to God, I'll shoot you right in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot! Drop the pot! Drop the...
Massey is hit in the face and drops to the ground. For at least 6 minutes, the other deputy applies pressure to her wound while they wait for medics to arrive. At one point, Deputy Grayson is heard implying that her injury is so grave that he's, quote, not going to waste his medical supplies on her. Massey was later pronounced dead at the hospital. In a Facebook post, Sangamon County Sheriff's Office confirmed Deputy Grayson had been fired from the department, writing, "It is clear that the deputy did not act as trained or in accordance with our standards."
You know what I want? I want justice for my baby.
Massey's father, James Wilburn, spoke after the footage was made public.
The sheriff is here is an embarrassment because this man should have never had a badge. He should have never had a gun. He should have never been given the opportunity to kill my child because he had some serious blemishes on his record. Serious. This man had 2 convictions for DUI. He had a conviction for driving under the influence. And he was a member of law enforcement? My Lord. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment to this country, to this county.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the Massey family.
She was dealing with some issues. She needed a helping hand. She didn't need a bullet to the face.
President Joe Biden also weighed in, saying, quote, "Sonya's death at the hands of a responding officer reminds us that all too often Black Americans face fears for their safety in ways many of the rest of us do not." And in her own statement, Vice President Kamala Harris decried this as a senseless death and reiterated calls for Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act, which she co-authored. The law would, among other things, limit the use of force, ban chokeholds, and change the standards for when officers could be prosecuted. Former Deputy Sean Grayson is charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He has pled not guilty.
He is not innocent. I hope he gets found guilty. And I just want to remind everybody out there that statistics show that 3 people die daily by the hands of law enforcement officers. I just want to remind everybody of that. 3 people die daily by the hands of law enforcement officers. That's way too many. 1 is too many, but to have 3 people die daily at the hands of a cop over negligence like this, this guy's a murderer and he deserves to pay for what he did. I want to thank all my subscribers out there I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching me live. And whether you watch now or watch the replay later, thank you all for your support. I appreciate it. And let's hope that Sonya Massey's family gets the justice that they deserve. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. I hope everybody has a great day and stay safe out there, because it's crazy times in 2024. Crazy times in 2024. See you all in the next live, y'all.
In the shadowy underworld of crime, where the ordinary meets the extraordinary, you've been journeying with me, Jason King. We've dissected the minds of some of the most notorious serial killers, peeling back the layers of their darkest secrets. Every shadowy corner we've turned, every chilling confession we've analyzed, has been a step deeper into the abyss. But remember, the abyss also gazes back. So, brace yourself as we prepare to dive even deeper. Next time, we'll unravel a tale so twisted it will make your spine tingle with anticipation. An enigma so intricate it will have you questioning everything you thought you knew. Until then, keep your eyes open and your mind sharp. This is Jason King, signing off.